We are welcoming you to a new inspiration pop-up.
We are. We are.
And we have the subject of today, how can we be happier?
Yes. The
I'm well
reason why
prepared.
you are very well prepared. The reason why this topic is so good is because happiness is something, well, one of the things is around expectation. So we have this imagination and we have this idea of how things should be. And technology does not help with that because we see even going on holiday, we see, I don't know if you've ever had that, but you see the photo of what the house is going to look like, of what the scenery is going to look like, and you get there. They've done a lot of photoshopping, or I don't know what's gone on, but it's like, well, this was not like the photos at all. And that's the same when we look at models and we look at people in wearing clothing and we see that, we think, oh my gosh, so I should look like that. And it's that continual expectation which creates that disappointment.
And what is then the solution? Because if we have such, does it mean, in your opinion, that we don't have any expectations?
Yeah, well, in this particular case, what I do think how technology could help us is to use realistic people, use real people, and be authentic. So be honest about everything, because it's the unrealistic image that gets portrayed, which creates the expectation, which is what then creates the unhappiness within us.
Right, but also just to be happy, like in the moment, means also is a feeling that you know what makes you happy. Is that not also a thing, what makes you happy? That you know the feeling and then create like situations or moments or even like an hour a day where you integrate things like sports or books or music can be also something that makes this feeling alive and hits the fire, lights the fire.
Yeah, I do. And the only reason I'm saying it like that, because I think if it was that simple, I mean, look, realistically, we can't stay in a state of happiness. We aim to be in a state of contentment with moments of happiness, 100%. But I think if it was that simple, there wouldn't be so many people struggling with the struggles that they struggle with. So, yes, and what you're talking about also is a form of doing meditation, because mindfulness,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I think in these situations, you have your expectation, you've got your imagination, you've got your technology, also the people you surround yourself with.
Yes.
Because if you think about it, where I live, people who live in a place, less than what I live would look at me and go, wow, that's amazing. And then I would look at people that live above me and go, huh, why don't I have that? And why am I not earning that? And it sounds, again, so silly, but again, through social media and even through conversations, somebody might say, oh, and I've got this car and I'm going on this holiday and this happening. And then one might go, oh, but I'm not. So what does that make me? And I think it's a very easy thing to do, but if we are aware of it, it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, and so this is also something to summarize for each one, that really, also don't compare yourself too much to others. That makes you already happier, right?
Mhm.
And as well, don't have too many expectations. It's allowed to have expectations, but just be aware of what can happen if you compare, if you have this, right?
No, no. If there
Nothing you
is
can.
no, if you can possibly not have an expectation, you won't get disappointed. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you were in a race and you thought, well, you're going to enter this race and just whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And you got a bronze. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I got a
Yeah.
bronze. Amazing.
Yeah,
Whereas if you got a silver and your expectation was gold, you're going to be disappointed.
for sure. That's
So
why,
if you can go into something without expectation, without comparing yourself to other people, and without looking at past experiences as a comparison, you will live a happier life. And I know that sounds very complicated, but that ties into what you were saying earlier. If you can be more present and mindful through a meditation practice, being one of the ways, that can definitely help. Yes.
And as well to appreciate, I would say, how were you in the past and how are you to who are you today, yeah, and who were you in the past, because sometimes we are so busy in creating something new or wanting to be a different person or creating a business or stuff like that, and then you don't see what you have done already. And this is a thing that makes you also happy. If you look back, where are you now?
That, but in this particular case, it's more around that, but also it's more around growth. So it's more around going forward looking as opposed to being like if you were earning a great salary, but it was the same for the rest of the year, even if it was awesome, for some reason, it's not going to make you feel as happy as if throughout the year you're earning a little bit more, that by the end, you're actually earning what you, that big amount that you were in the beginning, if that makes sense. We have this
Yeah.
thing about growth, and it makes us feel valued and appreciated and important.
Yeah.
And part of that are those little bits of growth along the way. So the growth is very important for forward looking.
Yeah, and for that as well, you need comparison as well. No? So in a way, so you can say no comparison, but for that you need it as well. No? So we have so many things as you can turn each point into the other side, but it's up to you. How is your feeling to that, right?
Well, I think that the big takeaway from this is not to have expectations. If you can go into something without an expectation, then you don't get disappointed. And therefore, you don't have that feeling of unhappiness. So if you can go into something just curious without expectation, that would be ideal. Whether it's realistic, I don't know, but it is ideal. In saying that, for those in Cape Town, well, in Hout Bay, I have one place left. If you would like to
Yes,
join
your
for
morning retreat.
the morning retreat on the 26th of March,
Which is already in 3 weeks. So very soon.
you can email me or you can contact me through Facebook or Instagram to find out more.
Same for me in Germany. So you are happy to be in Germany as well. So we are starting now the first live things in our two countries, and end of the year we are hopefully coming together in Cape Town. So just a little spoiler. And you can come to Fulda in the middle of Germany, and there we will have a retreat to how to be clear in yourself and how to have your performance outside. So we will see. Yeah, I will post the link as well and your link as well. And so we are happy to meet all the people who are listening now for almost 1.5 years. No? So we are happy to inspire you next Monday again, and we wish you a wonderful, inspiring week.